Alright, greetings and salutations everybody. This is Rollinwolf coming at you with episode 8 of Let's Talk Beta 1.5. We're discussing classes and we are on Guardians. Very quickly, let me just go over the copyright notice. This product was created using the Darrington Press Community Gaming License, the Illuminated World Standard Resource Document, Darrington Press LLC, all rights reserved. This is specifically discussing the Daggerheart Beta 1.5 rule set. The finished product is due out in spring of 2025, and these will become obsolete and will be updated with actual full-on rules episodes once we get the full rules. I hope you're enjoying the series, and that I'm getting you some information, which pretty much in this section we're pretty much just giving you the details that are there in the beta. We will go over some more creative stuff and things like that after we get through the series of classes, but we do want to just kind of cover those bases. You can also, of course, download the free beta materials by searching for it online. Go to Daggerheart.com, Darrington Press. You will be able to get them yourself, so you can follow along if you would like. Look at this at your own leisure. Let's move into Guardians. The beta states, Guardians represent an array of martial professions, and such a title speaks more to their moral compass and incredible fortitude than the means by which they fight. Those of this class may choose to join groups of militants for either a country or a cause, but Guardians are more likely to follow those few they truly care for. Majority be damned. Guardians are known for fighting with remarkable ferocity, even against overwhelming odds, and are apt to utilize defensive tactics that protect their cohort rather than charge forward with abandon. Woe be unto those who harm the ally of a Guardian, as they will not soon forget such a grievance. So you want to be the tank, you want to be the protector of the party. Guardian is a very solid choice. Their domains are Valor and Blade. Their starting evasion score is 8. Their damage thresholds are 8. Major is 8. Severe is 16. That's where they're starting out at, folks. Your class items: a stone totem from your mentor or a secret key. Both of those are potential plot hooks, background elements. You can use these things to inform your fiction. So don't take these choices lightly, even though you're like, they don't mechanically do anything. Well, we're not playing a mechanically driven game. We're playing a narrative driven game. We're playing a fiction driven game. We're playing a player driven game. So use the tools that are provided to you and elaborate on them. Let us go into the Guardian's Hope. The Guardian's Hope: spend 3 hope to clear up to 3 armor slots. That's meat and potatoes right there for a Guardian. The class features for the Guardian is Unstoppable. Once per long rest, you can choose to become unstoppable. You gain an unstoppable die, which begins as a D4. You place it on the spot to the right, starting with the 1 value facing up. Whenever you deal 1 or more hit points to an adversary, increase the unstoppable die value by 1. When you increase the value above the die's highest number, or when the scene ends, you remove the die and drop out of Unstoppable. At level 3, you get to upgrade your Unstoppable die to a D6 And at level 7, you get to upgrade it to a D8. While you're unstoppable, you gain resistance to physical damage. You increase your current armor score by your proficiency. You add the current value of your unstoppable die to your damage dice total. And you cannot be restrained or made vulnerable while you're unstoppable. So once per long rest, you choose when you want to become unstoppable, and first, second level is going to be a D4. When you hit that third level, you're going to get to upgrade your unstoppable dice to a D6. And then at 7th level, once again, you'll upgrade to a D8. So the further you go in the campaign, the longer your unstoppable is going to last. Tip: if your unstoppable die is a D4 and the 4 is currently facing up, you'll remove the die the next time you should increase it. However, if your unstoppable die has been upgraded to a D6 and the 4 is currently facing up, you will then turn it to the 5 the next time you should increase it. You'll only remove it after it passes a value of 6. And remember, when do you change it? Whenever you deal 1 or more hit points to an adversary. That's whenever it upgrades. So, you've got 2 subclasses, as always, in the beta. For Guardians, you can choose either the Stalwart or the Vengeance subclass. The Stalwart subclass. Play the Stalwart if you want to take heavy blows and keep on moving. The Foundation feature: when you take this foundation, increase all of your damage thresholds by 1. When you take physical damage, also reduce it by your armor score before applying it to your thresholds. You can still spend armor slots to reduce it further. So what is that telling you? That's telling you that without spending an armor slot, you automatically get to reduce the incoming physical damage before you apply it to your thresholds. You get to take that away automatically with no expenditure. Then you can still apply your armor slots and all of that afterwards. The specialization of this feature for the Stalwart subclass: when you take this specialization, raise all of your damage thresholds by +2. When a very close ally takes damage, you can mark an armor slot to reduce the damage by your armor score. Mastery feature for Stalwart: when you take this mastery, raise all of your damage thresholds by +3. When an ally within close range has 2 hit points or fewer and should take damage, you can immediately mark a stress to sprint to their side and take the damage instead. Very powerful ability to come in and save the day. That is the Stalwart subclass. The second subclass for Guardian is Vengeance. You play the Vengeance subclass if you want to strike down enemies that hurt you or your allies. Foundation feature: when you take this foundation, you gain an additional armor slot immediately. When you are hit by an enemy in melee range, you immediately get to roll a number of d6 equal to the amount of hit points you marked. For each result of 5+, you deal a hit point back to the enemy. That's your foundation feature if you take the subclass of Vengeance. Specialization feature for the Vengeance subclass: whenever an enemy damages an ally within your melee range, the next successful attack you make against that enemy has +1 proficiency. And then the Mastery feature: you can spend 2 hope to prioritize an enemy until your next rest. When you make an attack roll against your prioritized enemy, You can switch the values of your hope and fear dice. You can only prioritize one enemy at a time. Spend 2 hope, prioritize that enemy, and then as long as they are your prioritized enemy, whenever you make an attack roll, you have control of your hope and fear dice. So you dictate whether you're rolling with hope or fear from that point forward. All right. So that is our class feature, Unstoppable. Our subclasses, Stalwart and Vengeance. We are going to move over to background questions. You answer the following background questions or create your own. So, option 1, who from your community did you fail to protect and why do you still think of them? Option number 2, you've recently been tasked with protecting something important with the goal of delivering it somewhere dangerous. What is it and where does it need to go? And number 3, you consider an aspect of yourself to be a weakness, quote unquote weakness, something that you consider a weakness, not the mechanical weakness or anything like that. What is it and how does it affect you? So this is fiction and narrative driven, but it should have what is it that you consider your weakness, and how does this affect your character? How does this affect you whenever it is something that's going on or something you have to address? Those are some good examples, questions that you can use to get your background rolling. You can use them to inspire your answers or other questions, or you can leave all of those alone and create your own background questions that need to be answered. Then we've got connections. So your first one, how did I save your life the first time we met? So you're asking one of your fellow players to explain how it was that you saved their life whenever you first met. Could be a very interesting and great way to bond two characters together. Once again, as always, if you propose something and the player that you propose it to does not want to participate in that connection, then look for something different. But the options are there, and you should try and work with people to get something that works for everybody. Try not to drag someone unwillingly into something that they're not interested in pursuing or doesn't fit their character's theme correctly. Same thing goes whenever you're answering connection questions for other people. So, your next option. What small gift did you give me that you notice I always carry with me? Some sort of keepsake, memento, trinket, something. What lie have you told me about yourself that I absolutely believe? So this is a fun one, because one, your fellow player gets to come up with some sort of lie that they've told you, and two, it's something that your character, even though you as the player know that this is a lie, your character in the fiction totally believes this. So make sure that you do that justice, and that you take what's given to you, and if it's something that you don't feel your character would be able to believe or buy into, then adjust. Ask, work with your fellow player. The collaborative nature of Daggerheart really needs to begin at session 0 and character creation. And the more you work with your fellows at the table, the better and smoother your game is going to be whenever it comes time for those moments of trust to happen. And you want to be building a story together with everybody as a collaborative process. So it is important to, if there is something going on that totally disrupts the fiction for you, voice it. But at the same time, have leeway in there to be able to allow other people's creativity to shine through as well. If you are too rigid on everything, then you could cause problems yourself. Players, storytellers, GMs, work with each other to get the tale that you want to tell. That is the best I can tell you. And Guardian went super quick. We've still got the options to go over for the leveling up. Tier 2, you of course have the at level 2, you get to take an additional experience and increase your proficiency by 1 automatically. Then you choose 2 available options. I'm looking through, and they do appear to be the same as the other options we've seen before. And then you also have after you've made your choices, you increase your severe damage threshold by 2 and choose a new domain deck card at your level or lower. And then I encourage you to look through at the tiers 3 and 4 yourself. You will see that some of the boxes that you have, for some classes, may have more boxes in certain slots than other slots for your options. And then depending on the class, you may even have choices that don't appear on other people's lists. We're not going to go into detail on all of those. This is a very short episode because everything in the Guardian is so straightforward that there wasn't really a whole lot of extra things to discuss with them. Like I said, if you want to play a tank, a defender type character, Guardian is going to be your go-to. I'm sure that there are creative ways to do it with other classes if you so desire. But they are a very solid choice. Seraphs could also do a good job as they share the Valor domain, but you're not going to have those same class features that you get with the Guardian. And I do believe that if you want to create the archetypical tank type character, Guardian is going to be your go-to. The fact that this is a short episode is not a bad thing. Just means that we get to go ahead and wrap it up and pump out the next one sooner rather than later. So we're going to go ahead and get this over to getting edited and uploaded to YouTube, and then we will be back with our next episode where we're going to be discussing the Ranger and talking about that class. So hope you're enjoying the series. If you can make someone else's day a little bit better, please do so. Spread some light and love into the world. We all could use some more. We'll catch you here soon with our next episode, number 9, talking about Rangers. Until then, this is Rollinwolf signing off.